So hey everybody in Amiga land. I meant to film this while I was doing it, but I forgot and didn't set up a camera or anything. But I'll get you pretty much caught up on how to replace the Dallas focus real-time clock, the DS1287 on a Amiga 286 bridgeboard card. So I've already desoldered the socket and made sure that all the eyelets and everything were nice and clean. So I still need to clean up the back just a little bit. And I will show you how to install a DS1287 replacement. This is a replacement chip. This is for the Dallas real-time clock. This is to save all the settings for your A2286 bridgeboard card. So, yep, that's upside down. I bought the replacement off of eBay. I'll provide the links down below in the YouTube video. And it comes with a battery. And if in the future the battery goes dead, you can easily pop in one of these CR 1220s and you're good to go. So I'm going to do a little more cleaning up right around that area and make sure that no traces are wonky or anything like that. I'll get back to you. I desoldered it, and you will notice that the original Dallas real-time clock has pins missing. On the replacement, you will have to clip those pins out of there because they're not needed on the 286 bridgeboard card. So I'll be back here in a minute. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then I will solder it in and I will show you how that's done. Okay, I'm going to clean up the area with a little IPA.
Jesus.
A little IPA right here. IPA. This is 99% IPA that I have here, and I'm going to squirt a little bit on there. Clean up all of my extra flux that I left behind. I have some of these cool little swabs that I buy off of Amazon, and it's hard to hold the camera and clean this at the same time. So I'm going to clean this up real good, make sure there's no flux or anything that's left over, and I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same on the other side. As you can see, some of the IPA bled through, and I'm going to clean up a little bit right there. Now, what made short work of this is my desoldering station. I have a desoldering gun, solder pump. I don't know. It's a ANSI. It's a Chinesium ZD915. They work great, except for they like to get clogged up, which mine's not clogged up. That's just goop there, and you have to go in there and you have to clean out all of that goop and everything. But they're fairly cheap. They're reasonable. It's a ZD915. If you're on a budget, then that's what you got to deal with. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. All right, we're back right here, and I have cleaned up all of the flux and everything off of the Dallas real-time clock chip. Made sure that all the eyelets and everything were clean. Focus camera. Everything was good. There's no little solder blobs or anything else like that. So the next thing we need to do is take the replacement real-time clock chip, Dallas real-time clock chip, battery clock, and I need to size it up and clip off whatever leads do not match up, and make sure the orientation is right. We have a notch right there, and we got a notch right there by the crystal. So I'm going to get back with you here in just a minute. I'm going to snip off those legs to make sure it fits inside the hole. All right, I am back. We nipped off the legs that were in correspondence to the old Dallas real-time clock. This A2286 bridgeboard card does not need all of the legs, or not used. So we copied those exactly like that. Sorry for the focus. And I will set this in here in the spot, and it slides in perfect. A nice snug fit. Look at that. And that's the replacement situation with the real-time clock, Dallas real-time clock, of the A286 bridgeboard card for the Amiga. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder that up off camera through this side and fix it all up, and I'll be back and show you all that, and then we'll plug in the battery and we'll move on to installing the FPU for the 286 bridgeboard card. All right, it's all installed. Everything is done. It's all cleaned up. Flux removed. I didn't quite like the way the pins were extra long, but that's totally understandable. They're going to clear this part right here, so that's not. I don't think I need to clip them off. I don't think anything's going to interfere with that. I'll look at the other part of the board and make sure, which I doubt it, that there's going to be anything that's going to interfere. I don't think that there's nothing going to touch in there. They're a little bit longer than the original, but I don't think that they're going to touch these chips right here. I'll check that out later. So it's installed, and what did I do with the battery? I just had the battery. There's the battery. Battery's right here. Little bitty thing. Little bitty button cell right there. So we're going to take this and we're going to install it here. And it should go in something like that. There it is. It's installed. So there's the real-time clock install for an A286 bridgeboard card for Commodore Amiga. A2286 bridgeboard card. So if your A286 bridgeboard card is not keeping its settings and everything else, you can get a Dallas real-time clock replacement. They're all over eBay. They're not that expensive. If you buy the one that has all of the pins, when you remove your Dallas clock, you will have to delete the pins that are not needed. So I'm going to put this thing together. I'm going to sandwich together, and then I'm going to pull up the 2000, get it all set up on the bench, and then we'll see if this thing works. Also, I've got a coprocessor for the A286 bridgeboard card. The 287 math coprocessor, MMU or FPU, whatever you want to call it. Got that right here. I'm going to install that here in just a minute, and I'll be back for that. All right, our 287 coprocessor chip is now installed and all set up. So we've got that there, and now all I need to do is take this pizza and sandwich it together, and we'll be ready to move over to the 2000 and get the 2000 up on the bench and see if everything I did turned out. Be back in a second.
Good Lord,
So,
what is happening in there?
as I was putting together the sandwich, I noticed that the legs on the new real-time clock were just a smidge too tall, and they were smashing right in to this edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to nip off basically the top, just the top, just a little bit, because I said I was concerned that they were a little bit long, and they are long, and then plus I can't quite squeeze the sandwich all the way flush down. So I'm going to nip those off, And because those pins right there are touching right here, right along this edge. So I don't want to risk no shorting or anything like that. So I'm gonna come back and nip those off just a wee bit and they'll be fine. So everything is back together. The sandwich is all good to go. There is no pins touching that socket anymore. It's nice and clear. Looks good. The Dallas chip real-time clock is all fixed up. Everything's back together, looking good. The A2286 Bridgeboard card is fixing to get tested out. So I'm going to set up the 2000 and be right back, and we'll see if she's working. All right, everybody, we've installed the A2286 Bridgeboard card in here. We have fired up the Commodore A2286 revision 3.6 Bridgeboard card with the Genius software and everything. We do not have a battery error like we had before. It says tested memory is okay. Everything is fine. Boot failure because I don't have a floppy hooked up right now, so that's expected. Everything is fine. We saw a glimpse of Alex just then. Alex, you want to say hello?
What's happening?
Hey, what's happening? There's Alex. This is his machine right here. The A2000 Midnight Edition. So everything is fine right here. I'm going to close down the PC Color software and flip back over to the Amiga. We have a graphics card and we have all of that stuff. So here we go. PC Color. We click on it and we hit the switch to get over to the native video because there is RTG on this machine. And there we go. Everything boots up. You see the the scan converter, the SCART to RGB and all of that stuff, the Chinesium box. Everything is going good. Memory is checked out. It does say boot failure, check disk. That's because I do not have a floppy. So I can hit any key. I think it's, what is it? Oh my God. Control Alt. I just had it. Control Alt Escape to get into the BIOS. And look at there. Our date is still set, 10/4/23. Time is at 9:33, and I look over at my PC, and we are 9:33. It says coprocessor because we installed the FPU or whatever you want to call it, FPU coprocessor, the A287 chip, and it is all installed. So now I need to get a floppy going and get some virtual hard disks going, and that's it. So there you go. That's how you change out a real-time clock and install a FPU on a A2286 Bridgeboard card for the Amiga. There you go. So that's it. It's working.